Notre Dame's offensive line is going to look a good bit different next season, with a couple of players announcing their intentions to enter the NFL draft this upcoming spring. We're going to talk about that and more in this video, folks. Please do hit the thumbs up on this before we dive into this video. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel, and please subscribe to blueandgold.com for so much more coverage on the Fighting Irish. This video would be like 200 hours long if we covered everything that we write about on the website. So Eric Hansen joining me, Blue and Gold writer. So Billy Schrauth entered the, announcing his intentions to enter the 2026 NFL draft. This was kind of one that we could have seen go either way. Eric, you had been reporting about that. I had been hearing that as well, but did expect him to end up leaning toward the NFL draft. And the right tackle for the Irish, Emil Wagner, he is headed to the draft as well. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much with me, like, not surprised by either of these decisions?
Not surprised by either of the decisions, because I think they'll do fine in the draft. Could each of them have used another year at Notre Dame and gotten better? Absolutely. Is the economic stratosphere conducive to bringing somebody like that back? Yes. I think in each of these cases, I think Emil just felt like, I'm ready to go. And he really labored over the decision. So did Billy, for different reasons. You know, Billy really felt like coming back would make him better. And yet the thought of grinding through the academics for a 5th year didn't sound real appealing. You know, he did it for 4 years. Really didn't want to do it for a 5th year. And I think that ultimately kind of pushed him out the door.
Yeah, of course, both of those guys coming in the 2022 class. Wagner was a huge recruiting win for the Irish. You know, with Marcus Freeman playing such a big role in that as the defensive coordinator, someone who also went to Wayne High School like Wagner. And Schrauth really was Notre Dame's, that was Marcus Freeman's first marquee recruiting win as Notre Dame's head coach. Remember him and Tommy Rees.
Got on the plane.
Got on the private plane. And I believe Tyler Horka was at like the tarmac taking pictures of them, if I'm remembering that correctly. I'll have to look that up after the video, but like taking pictures of those guys boarding the private jet headed to see Schrauth. So
this is on the day of his being announced as Notre Dame's head coach,
right after the press conference.
Yeah.
So that's a cool story. We might have to bring that up in a future show. But Eric, like, what's your thought about the future of the Notre Dame offensive line? I've been giving my projected starting 5. I'll go ahead and do that. Okay. I think from left to right,
okay,
you're going to have Knapp stay at left tackle, and this is obviously subject to change. Knapp left tackle, left guard would be Jagasaw.
Okay,
pray that he's healthy and can come back. Craig at center, Sullivan Absher at right guard, and right tackle Gerby Lambert. That is my projected starting 5 right now. What do you think about that? And do you have a different one?
Yeah, there's optimism that Craig is going to be back in time to be the starting center. If he's not, then I would go with a little bit different alignment. Definitely agree with you on Gerby Lambert. I definitely think Jagaza is going to be a starter, and he could start at either of the 2 guard spots or left tackle.
Yeah.
If he does, then Knapp moves inside. He doesn't get booted out of the starting lineup. But my wild card is Will Black as a starting guard. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Will Black wins a job.
Okay. All right. So then Otting would be your center if Craig's not ready?
Or you could, I mean, and if you had a long enough runway, I think Knapp could be your center.
Ooh.
Because he originally came in looking like he was going to be a center or a guard, and then he kind of defaulted into the left tackle, and just talking with Joe Rudolph about how that process played out. And then there was a thought this year about having him inside, having Gerby outside, but Gerby got injured and they weren't sure when he was going to be back. And then Gerby kind of surged after Jagaza's injury and became an inside guy. But now we see him outside. But I think Knapp's going to be in there somewhere. It's just, where do Knapp and Jagaza end up?